So when update 2.6.0.1 launched, we touched up on a lot of weapons that were specifically stated in the Sandbox patch notes. Now, a number of archetypes actually got blanket buffs or blanket nerfs. Specifically, rapid fire pulse rifles got a big bump in damage from 21.4 per crit to 23.8 and 13 per body to 14. So weapons like Horus Lease, Claws of the Wolf, Outlast, rapid fire pulse rifles are pretty much in like a Clever Dragon state as of this current sandbox. But there was also another weapon that received a buff alongside these rapid fire pulse rifles, and that is Vigilance Wing. You see, Vigilance Wing is a very unique weapon, but it's still categorized as a rapid fire pulse rifle. So the buffs that were handed out to those pulse rifles were also handed out to Vigilance Wing. Today, guys, we're gonna go through Vigilance Wing again because I know it's probably been a while since you even used this weapon. We'll be checking out the new damage values that this weapon holds and how it stacks up against its former self. First up, the exotic perk. Intrinsically, it comes with the trait Harsh Truths. This weapon fires a 5-round burst, and when a nearby ally is killed, you gain health regeneration and increased movement speed. My god, did I depend on this weapon in Trials. Back in the day, when Destiny 2 had a double primary sandbox, Vigilance Wing was my baby, and every time a blueberry went down, Harsh Truths there would come in clutch with the health regeneration. Now, being a 5-round burst weapon, it actually shoots at 530 rounds per minute, which is actually 10 rounds per minute less than something like Outlast or Horus Lease and our other rapid fire pulse rifles. Where it makes up for it though is the fact that it can shoot 5 shots per burst. Now the weapon also comes with corkscrew rifling for that increase in range and stability, as well as handling speed, alloy magazine for that faster reload, and the trait itself, which is Last Stand. Improve weapon performance and greatly increase recovery when its wielder is the last living member of a fire team. Again, like I said, I used to use this thing non-stop in Trials in year 1 of D2, even before it got its buff in the summer of Season 3. Last Stand, in combination with Harsh Truths, would constantly come in clutch. Now this weapon also comes with an exotic catalyst, which allows it to be shot in full auto. I do not really use full auto, I still tap fire, and even when I play controller, I still tap fire. Full auto on this weapon, considering that it's a slow 5-round burst, to me, it's better to just tap fire. Just time your burst instead of just laying on the trigger like you would another rapid fire pulse. Now, the previous damage values for Vigilance Wing, pre 2.6.0.1, was 22 per crit and 15 per body. Now that damage has jumped up to 23 per crit and 16 per body. Now, the significance there is not really a difference in time to kill, but more or less a difference in forgiveness. Previously, it required 9 crits out of the 10 shots to land in order to reach that 0.77 time to kill value, which is a beautiful TTK value. So not even a full 2 bursts, but like 1.8 bursts. Now, it still requires 9 shots, but it's 7 crits and 2 body, giving you still that 0.77 TTK value, but now you'll be able to lock kills in on Guardians that are 6 resilience or less. Anything above that will require 8 crits and 1 body. So the forgiveness there has gone up greatly, even with the damage only being 1 extra per shot, which is why you haven't really seen much of Vigilance Wing in the previous sandbox. Especially once you get outside of that mid-range level, damage fall off really started to extend the TTK value, which made a lot of people just choose other pulse rifles. Now with this change, even when we start to receive a little bit of damage fall off, it's all right. For the most part, if you can land crits, you can 2-burst Guardians, which is a beautiful sight. Fellas, Vigilance Wing is back in full swing. It is a lot better than what it was before. This buff may not seem like a major buff, but Vigilance Wing didn't need a major buff to be a contender inside of Crucible. Now for PvE, pulse rifles actually got like a blanket buff against minor enemies by 28%. Of course, it kind of evens out due to crit multiplier. Vigilance Wing though, inside of PvE, is not a bad option. The problem is its traits and its perks really doesn't serve well inside of PvE. Like if your fire team members are going down constantly, proccing Harsh Truths, you might want to rethink your strategy, right? So to me, those traits, as well as that exotic perk, it's definitely more gauged at PvP. And if Trials ever does actually make a return, yes, Vigilance Wing is a great option. Now, considering that we have Elimination right now, as well as Survival inside of our comp playlist, you can bring this exotic in there right now. You'll be able to take advantage of these perks in full swing, especially if you got some blueberries that like to die a bunch, which tends to be the case a bunch. Well, guys, that is Vigilance Wing and its buff here in 2.6.0.1. Try it out for yourselves. It's doing a hell of a lot better. One of my favorite exotics in the game, and I'm happy to see it back in full swing. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.